1. Blog Talk Radio.
It's the Brow Report. We are live on YouTube. Woo-hoo, YouTube. Live on YouTube. We're live on blogtalkradio.com/Brow Report. You can get us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, Blog Talk Radio. You can get us on Rumble. You can see the video. After we're done with the show, we upload it to rumble.com. Search Brow Report. Vote on us there. And the show is also uploaded on YouTube. So get us everywhere you can find us. Instagram, follow us there. Telegram, at Brow Report. Also Facebook.com/Brow Report Podcast Network. And get us there. Bill, what's up, man?
Dude, how you doing, man? Whatever you're smoking, that intro when you came on, sharing is caring, brother.
I know, man. You know, it's the Florida way of life. Thunderstorms in the morning, afternoon, the weather is crazy, but I don't mind an hour-long shower. Well, I mean, depends on what kind of shower it is, in the house or outside.
Dude? There's more than just washing if you're in the shower for an hour, my friend.
Yeah, there's definitely more stuff than that. So, lots of stuff going on. First off, folks, school's starting up for some people this week and next week. I just want to do a little prayer for all the kids and the parents. I know it's an uncertain time in this country right now, between COVID-19 and everything else going on in this world. A lot of negativity. We talk about some of that on the show. We talk about lots of stuff, but let's do a real quick prayer for all the kids and the parents. Dear Jesus, thank you for everything you do to provide for us. Thank you also for our children. They are literally the future of mankind. Thank you also for blessing our children as they go back to school coming up in the next few weeks around the country. We bless them with good health. We also ask for the parents to have clarity in their choices, whether it's a mask or not mask, or vaccinating your kids or not. We pray to you, Jesus, for clarity on choices for our family. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, folks. I feel I had to do that tonight, Bill. There's so much crazy stuff going on in the world right now. I think some prayer is definitely needed.
God is certainly extremely upset.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
Everything is upside down. You got the pandemic. You got this new world order push. I mean, it is rapidly going upside down faster and faster. People, I hope to God they wake up soon, because they're about to get blindsided with the amount of rapid change this country and the world is going to go through.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not being conspiratorial. You
No.
just have to look at the agenda. I mean, the vaccine passports. They're talking about social credit score systems in this country. That's communist China. It's all geared for the new world order, the Great Reset, whatever they want to call it. It's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to get to this, folks. I think it's important, Bill, that we talk about this tonight. Social media is... Cancer is a strong word, right? I mean, it's a very strong word. It creates a lot of feelings, animosity. People get scared with that. Social media is a cancer, folks. It will eat you alive from the inside out. I've seen too many people get into it, and you can see it now, folks. Just go to any ABC Action News or Fox 13 or any of the mainstream media outlets like in the Tampa Bay area that I keep an eye on all the time. Go in there and see just the negativity and the vile and just people just going crazy. And I understand an opinion. I'm in the opinion business, right, Bill? We're in the opinion business. That's what we're doing here.
I mean, this is all we do. We're not experts.
No.
We're just two dudes that have opinions.
we're using the information that we have gathered from sources and are giving you the information that we feel is worth sharing with y'all. But I see these people just going crazy on each other, saying forced mandated vaccinations. We should be kicking people out of restaurants that are not vaccinated. We should be asking for vaccine cards. These are like the same people that were anti-vaxxers probably before, and now they're vaxxers. It's amazing.
I think the term fascist is probably not the right. They're more Nazi than anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're the ones that scare me.
Mafia. I mean, people are starting to turn on each other, rat on each other. Everybody is just
people are scared.
So
Bill.
Hypersensitive.
People are scared.
People are terrified.
That's what people do. They do very desperate things when they're scared.
Right. And they're believing all this insanity, and they're falling for it. And these people are becoming desperate and crazy.
Yeah.
They're like shouting in people's face, "You're not wearing a mask. You're here to protect me." I'm not here to protect you at all. That's not my duty.
Yeah, I go back to
your duty. If you're so scared, stay home.
Yeah, and I say that on social media.
I'm not here to protect you.
Yeah, it's like stay home. And what we need to do to our friends and family is be judgmental. That's one of the main things that we need to stay away from. We should be supportive of people's decisions, whether they want to get vaccination or not. I support your decision, Bill. You got vaccinated. I support that. That's fine, right? Well, we're great friends.
And one of the things we're talking about vaccination. My mom's in a hospital again.
Oh God, I'm sorry, man.
She's over in Brandon. Yeah, it's okay. I talked to the charge nurse, the lead nurse, in her floor. I said, "What are you seeing with COVID?" They're seeing tons. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Who are being hospitalized?" And the only people they're seeing is unvaccinated.
Okay.
So,
well,
that's good.
It is good, but let's talk about the psychological part of this, because I think it is extremely important to talk about the psychological situation here. People that have been vaccinated have been told you're going to be okay. It's going to reduce hospitalizations, which it is. In theory, it is, right? They're not being hospitalized. But you got to think about this, too.
It's a small percent that slip through, but they're old and something.
Yeah.
Horrible health conditions and things like that. But rare. I mean, it's virtually non-existent that you're going to have severe disease and hospitalized and vented. So you're going to get sick. You might more likely going to be asymptomatic, according to the people I was talking to. Over the last couple of days.
Or it could be like a cold. It would feel like a cold.
Or you're going to have a cold.
Yeah.
They said it presents more like a sinus infection. Mm-hmm. Runny nose. Just that headachy, like a sinus infection. So I can live with that.
Yeah.
Which is, that was my choice too. I didn't want to get sick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean,
but
you've had health issues before.
Effect,
it's the smart thing to do. It's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, the psychological effect this is having on both, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated, it's going to be so much. It's going to be two societies basically, because if you're looking at, just the psychological effect of those that are choosing not to get the vaccine, that live in New York City, in the Blasio world today, to go into restaurants, fitness centers, performances, things like that, to live normal lives. You have to have a vaccine. All others cannot go in, cannot. So you're making people third class, fourth class.
Show them papers. Show your papers.
Snap of the
that's what the Nazis did.
Show your papers. There's going to be those on both sides that are going to have animosity toward each other, and that's going to get physical.
Well, I think it's going to go through the courts.
It's going.
That's discrimination.
People are going to
based off health. You can't do that.
Right.
So you're going to see that. But I want to get back to I want to talk more of the psychological in terms of people that got the vaccine, or they have a more, I wouldn't say positive outlook, but they feel more protected. And maybe it's a psychological thing too, because they've done studies on people that test positive that have the vaccine versus people that don't have the vaccine, the viral load are the same. So, and I'm thinking about this in terms of your mental health, because you have the vaccine, is that helping people cope with it better because they have a feeling that they're more protected, so they have a more positive outlook? Because, and I'm telling you right now, folks, mental health does play a part in this, because if you get sicker and sicker, your mental health and their mental stability to, keep it together, it will affect how your body reacts. And I think that is an unseen type of thing that they're not accounting for in these hospitalizations, because some of these people they're not vaccinated, they've been told forever, which is not true, that you're going to die. Death numbers are up. Deaths. But the death numbers are not up. We know, don't ventilate everybody that comes through with COVID, because lots of people die because of that. I mean, unfortunately, people died,
they have better
but we learned.
Machines and stuff, so.
And I think that's a big thing, is the mental, where are you mentally in terms of your psyche when you get infected with COVID? I think that's a huge thing. If the viral loads are the same, so what's the big difference? Because if the viral loads are the same, because they're doing the studies between a non-vaccinated and vaccinated, what's really protecting the vaccinated person? Because you would think the spike protein,
the vaccine
would attack it, and reduce the viral load.
Right, but you're getting that initial viral load right from your nostril. You know what I mean? So that you're not getting the full picture of the viral load. So you're going to have the spike proteins from, the vaccine, whatever injection they give you, that are going to be doing its job against the invading COVID. So you might have the same viral load, but you have that added protection of the vaccine.
They need to do
along with
blood tests.
You're right, stress. If having COVID would be very stressful, and if you're stressed, that elevates blood pressure, heart.
Yes.
That can adversely affect health too. So that weakens your immune system. So I can definitely see that study that, if you're happy, I'm vaccinated, I got COVID, all right, I have a better, really good shot. I'm not going to end up in
have more positive outlook.
Show down the street. Yeah, you have more positive outlook, so you're probably going to be a little bit more better suited stress level wise, to be able to go through it and not freak out.
Yeah, exactly. I wish they would do blood testing to see what the viral load is in the bloodstream. I think that would be a much better indication of how the spike protein is doing, versus a nasal swab. I mean, a nasal swab is a nasal swab. If you get the bloodstream, you get a much better feel for how much
you have
virus
more
is there. And how it's producing antibodies. Because after, even the spike protein's there, you're still getting an infection. So how are the antibodies working with the spike proteins? There's a lot of unanswered questions there, Bill, and they're not really. And I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but I'm a person that's a critical thinker. I want to know. And
you stayed at the Holiday Inn Express last weekend.
Exactly. So, and I'm probably going to be staying one soon. Who knows? I mean, I'm becoming a lot smarter every day. But that's the thing. You have to ask the questions. If you don't question, what's going on in the world, you're just going to be a sheep. And, asking questions is not a bad thing. But apparently if you ask them on Facebook, they'll ban you for asking a simple damn question.
How dare you
How dare you ask a question? The government's here to protect you. We're here to protect you from yourself. 1984, Big Brother style, with a big movie theater screen screaming at you. Big Brother's here to help you. No, it's not. It doesn't work that way, folks. I mean, come on. We got to do better than this. A lot better than this. We got the Olympic Games going on. The women's soccer team lost to Canada.
Hey, I hate that girl.
Megan, was it Rapone?
Yeah.
Rapone?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I call her purple
Subway
hair.
should be ashamed. they're
I call her
pieces of
a
crap.
Subway girl that's trying to run off all the business. Because why would you bring an anti-American, person that thinks that everything's racist, everything's sexist, and put her on commercials? Let's get some facts here for a second. I want to talk about facts. Let's talk about facts. The women's U.S. soccer team kneels because of racial discrimination, whatever, all these things that they're trying to do. And I got some audio in a second of a great American that loves America. We're going to talk about her in a second. But this chick from the U.S. soccer team kneels during the national anthem. But she wants to represent the country. She thinks it's all bad, but she still wants to be there. Then they complain, saying, we want to be paid like the men. They want equality. Okay? No, they want equity. Equality is different. They want equity. They want the same thing as the men. Okay, I'm okay with that. If they want the same thing as the men, let's do that. So let's give them the same percentage of receipts that the men do. They would actually lose money because the women get a higher percentage of ticket sales and all the other stuff that they negotiated, a higher percentage than the men. The issue is the men's game just has more interest. That's nothing bad.
Right.
The men's game, it's honestly, I don't watch the WNBA, and they want to have more money. The NBA subsidizes the WNBA. I'm sorry if you make $200,000 a year playing women's basketball, but you can make more in China. Go to China, make more money. Okay. I mean, that's your thing. But don't say, oh, I want the same. I want the same. Well, sometimes the same is actually worse. Because apparently they had a better negotiation on percentages with the women's soccer team than the men's. I can't help that the people are more interested in men's soccer. Sorry, folks. It's just the way it is. Men's sports
You can't just
get more
throw money
tickets.
at them just to throw money at them.
No.
Right.
If you want a successful league, it has to make money. And I'm sorry if you don't like your negotiated terms. Maybe go back and renegotiate them. But you can't just, take so much money and bankrupt it. Remember the USFL? It's coming back, I think, 2023 or something like that. They went bankrupt because they sued the NFL. They won the lawsuit, but they got $1. So they spent all the time, all the resources. They won, but they lost in the end. So you got... Anybody sues or anything in this country, you have to look at a cost-benefit ratio. Sometimes you're just better off walking away from it because you'll lose everything trying to win $1. It doesn't make any sense.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just keep on. It's not. But there's people who are going to act on principle. So I mean, that's their right as well.
Well, I mean, sometimes it is. It's a good thing, but sometimes, like I said, cost-benefit analysis. Are you going to go out of business because you did something stupid? I mean, come on. It's just not worth it sometimes. So let's play some audio from the Tokyo Olympics. Keep in mind, this woman, she won a gold medal. She is incredibly happy. She's an American. She loves America, and she's black. So let's roll this baby.
It feels amazing. I love representing the U.S. I freaking love living there. I love it, and I'm so happy I get to represent USA.
God bless her. God bless her.
We posted the
that
video on
awesome.
Instagram and also on Parler. Parler's back, folks. It looks a lot better. So check out Parler at Brow Report. I posted the video there. Incredible. Smile on her face, joy in her heart. Thanks God.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks the trainers that pushed her hard to get where she is. And she loves America. I love America. That's why I love America.
So there's good. There's
so much good
in this world.
There's so much. Oh.
But so much evil.
Oh, I know.
So much evil.
But the great thing about our show is, Bill, is we share the good. It's not all bad news. This isn't the evening news where everything's getting blown up and people are getting murdered everywhere in Chicago on a daily basis. I mean, that's a daily basis in Chicago. But we're talking about people that are making a difference, and they're not blaming everybody. Don't blame everybody. We get setbacks in our lives. We sometimes have to look at ourselves and say, am I the reason that I'm being held back? My mindset. And her mindset was, I'm going to do this. And did. Now let's talk about someone that did not have a positive mindset. Gwen Berry. The Anthem protester that finished third at the trials. She failed to get an Olympic medal, so she could not do her protest of racial inequality. Apparently, she just was not good enough to get a gold, silver, or bronze. We predicted that on the show before. If you're third in the American trials, unless it's for like shooting or something, you're probably not going to medal against these other countries. So Gwen Berry,
not at all.
And
Matt,
that one.
Matthew, I hate to do this. They're releasing my mother. I have to go get her.
Okay,
So
go get her. I will finish the
I have to
show.
run.
Thank you, Bill, for letting me know. I hope everything is well. It sounds good. Thanks, Bill.
That is good. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bill's got to go. Understandable. Because you know what? Family comes first on the show. So I'll finish the show with some other news and views that you can use. Because you know what we're doing? We're looking out for you, the American people. All right. So we talked about Gwen Berry. Kathy Griffin. You know Kathy Griffin, the person that, when is President Trump going to die from COVID? The beheading thing that she thought she was, I'm really funny. Ha ha ha. She's not funny. She has revealed she has lung cancer. And I don't wish cancer on anybody. I don't. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. Now, a lot of people can survive from it, some people don't. Okay? But I'm not going to wish her death or ill will. I think that's inappropriate. I hope that she recovers. And I'm going to be the bigger person here. There's some people on the internet that are like just going out there saying that they hope she dies, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that. It's not fair. It's not nice. It's inappropriate. We should not be wishing ill will on people. What we should be doing is praying for her family, her friends, and give her support. Now, have she done some vile things? Yes. Maybe this may be a teaching moment for her. Don't know. I can't get in her head and actually determine if that's going to be a teaching moment for her. But I can tell you this right now that it's a terrible diagnosis. I don't want that wish on anybody, like I said. But sometimes it's like people say it's karma, it's irony. It's just cancer's not fair sometimes. Even it hits people that great people, and so hopefully that she gets her house in order, and she gets in a good mindset, and maybe this changes her life. I don't know, but I just want to give y'all an update on that tonight. Let's see here. Weird story as normal. We do these weird stories on the show because life is weird. The Titanic Museum attraction Ice Wall Falls injures 3 people. They said the attraction wrote, "It never would have expected an incident like this to occur." Just like the Titanic hitting an iceberg and sinking, right? The unsinkable ship sinks and the ice wall at the attraction falls and injures 3 people. You didn't see that coming. The irony in that. No one died. It looks like everybody's going to be okay after that, but it's just like so weird how these things happen. You would think they would make sure the ice wall is secure against something, but apparently not secure enough. Oh, so Jordan on, I think it's Twitter. Yes, Twitter, @_George45 says, the final COVID variant is called communism. And what we have to do, folks, is really stop attacking each other online and saying, "Oh, you're an anti-masker. Oh, you're a masker. You're anti-vax. You're a vaxxer." This, much like what Osama bin Laden did in 9/11, trying to destroy America with those terrorist attacks, the Chinese Communist Party did the same thing to us. All they did was they released a virus on us in 2019 onto the world in hopes to destroy the United States of America's political system and get rid of Donald Trump. Now, some people say Biden won, some people say Trump won. Let's let that play out and figure that out. I don't have the time to dabble in that tonight and talk about that. But the main goal of communists is to get everybody communist and have complete government control. If you're okay with the government asking for papers, if you're vaccinated or not, forced vaccinations, jail time, you can't protest against it, but you can, burn down a city with Antifa, you might be the problem. We're built on individual liberty and freedom. I know that these vaccination things where you're not allowing vaccinated people into businesses, discriminatory actions will go to the courts and they will be in some serious trouble. I mean, you just can't discriminate against people about a vaccine. I'm sorry, it's just not the way it is. You got to keep in mind the COVID vaccination, this gene therapy, and I call it the biggest gene therapy trial in the history of the world, which it actually is. I'm not saying don't get it. I'm saying talk to your doctor, but I'm also giving you the information that I have here. It's a gene therapy, folks. The Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines are mRNA. They're gene therapy. They're trying to change the way your body reacts to something. If you want it, talk to your doctor. Make a choice. I'm not saying don't. I had COVID. I have a natural immunity right now. The Delta variant, the other variants, I don't know how it's going to react, but they said there's a 6.5 times better rate of fighting COVID after an infection versus someone that has a vaccine. It gives the natural immunity. So, with that in mind, talk to your doctor, but don't do communism because these governments will go after you and suppress. If you're getting locked down in a lockdown state, but you're in Florida and you're complaining that our governor's not doing enough, listen, you don't have to go outside, folks. You don't. You can lose your job. You can do whatever. You can mask up. Folks, Fauci's email said the masks don't work. Remember when Fauci said don't worry about masks at the beginning of the pandemic? Because people play around with them, they don't wash them correctly, it's cloth, it's not an N95. It just doesn't work, folks. It's political theater. It's political theater. They couldn't get us on race wars, now they're trying to get us on vaccine wars. You've got to calm down. Disconnect from the internet. Don't get into these fights. These people are very passionate about, they call Governor DeSantis the Satan, whatever. If you don't like it here, go to New York. Get locked down with Gropey Cuomo. That's been busted up on sexual harassment. Go to California, Gavin Newsom. Move to Washington, D.C., where the mayor is caught without a mask on. Just do these things, Or hang out with the Obamas, where there's 700 people for his birthday party and so many people are unmasked. Come on. Let's the political theater, you're getting just completely tricked. It's crazy. Now we got churches getting involved. And the jab or not jab. The COVID vaccine stuff. Churches are getting involved. We post this on the Browport Instagram, Parlor as well. So, it's how to find a new church when you start seeing these things. Try to run Church of Christ that Jesus wore a crown of thorns, you can wear a mask. Ooh. Grace United Methodist Church wrote on their visual sign, electronic sign, mask it or casket. Oh, so good. So clever. Mount Brides, United Church of Canada. Thou shalt wear a mask in public. Hygienist 24/7. Oh, so fun. Oh, ooh. Another one had a sign made, like one of those political signs that says, "For the safety of all, face masks are required to be able to call yourself my follower," with Jesus on it. Remember Jesus was healing lepers? You know, he was healing people with severe diseases that people would not touch or be around. And we're concerned with COVID, with a high survivability rate, folks. Does it suck getting it? Yeah, I know. I had it. It sucked. But at the same time, I wore a mask. I worked from home. I did all the things I was supposed to do, and I still got it. There's people that work at hospitals, nurses, doctors. They never got COVID. But they worked around COVID patients the entire time. So tell me how it works. It's just, the math doesn't add up. And they had that Houston hospital. I think it's Houston, and forgive me if I'm incorrect. I think it's Houston Methodist, maybe, out in Houston. They fired over 100 nurses because they wouldn't take the COVID vaccination. They did 16 months of COVID pandemic. And then they get fired for not taking an experimental mRNA gene therapy vaccine. But we're in the middle of a pandemic and everything's so bad, but you're willing to fire 100 nurses. It just doesn't add up, folks. Just doesn't add up. We want to force these people to get vaccinations. I wonder how it's going in China and North Korea right now. But you won't ever get the real facts. This virus was designed not just to hurt people, but to also hurt our country, and people are falling for it. And they're probably not listening to this show because the social media companies out there try to hit us all the time and suppress us. But we're going to continue to put it out there. If you want to share a video, share the links from the different places for podcasts, you can do that. That's all we can do is continue to talk about the information that's out there. But as always, we are getting suppressed constantly. So. All right, so J.K. Rowling, there's an opinion piece about 2 years ago, and this just kind of came back up, I guess, on Instagram. I must have found it on Instagram. Was Hermione black overcoming white bias in literature? J.K. Rowling had tweeted saying, canon, brown eyes, frizzy hair, and very clever. White skin was never specified. Rowling looks black Hermione in her book. It says Hermione's white face was sticking out from behind a tree. So yes, Hermione was white. J.K. Rowling's is pandering in that tweet. So I just find the irony there very ironic that these people try to pander all the time, and they don't even know what their characters are. It makes you wonder if she even read the book. Not saying she didn't, but she sure forgot about that. And the movies had her as a white girl. I mean, whatever. I mean, we're changing all the Disney princesses now and stuff, and all these characters that have been white for years, changing them to different ethnicities, which, whatever. Let's see how it works out. I don't care. There's an interesting one. Kids are returning to school, but most are white. Okay. All right, so you're trying to race bait. These newspapers trying to race bait. Okay. So let's look at some numbers. U.S. population by race, well over 50% white. Okay. Then Hispanics are second, Black third, Asian fourth, multi-race, then Native peoples. So yes, majority of the people returning to school are probably white. Congratulations based on population. Once again, they are trying to divide us by race, and it just doesn't add up. Oh, here's a funny one. I sent my 12-year-old son to school in a dress to combat gender stereotypes, and now he doesn't want to go back to school anymore. What should I do? Wait, what should you do? So a person wrote a response. What you should do is get some help. And I mean serious help. Your son is 12. And he forced this young boy to go to school during some of the most difficult years of his life. And as he combats bullies and creates a reputation for himself while wearing a dress. A dress. If you're throwing your kid into a dress and he's a boy and he's like 12 years old or teenager or any age really, you're creating a situation where you're trying to project your ideals onto a child that are not a gender norm, and that's what happens. So don't complain when your son starts getting bullied because you decided to get woke and you put your kid at risk. That's not right. 2020, oh my God, all the healthcare people are heroes. Woo! 2021, you don't get the jab, you're fired. Really? Really? How about all the people that had COVID? Do we need to get the jab now too? I don't know. So here's some information that we pulled off. I believe this was an interview from Fox. So let's listen to the audio.
Is it your sense, Dr. McCary, if you were guiding this, that you would leave the vaccinated people alone and maybe leave those people with immunity who had COVID alone and focus on those with no immunity?
Well, one of the greatest failures of our current public health guidance is the complete and inexplicable ignoring of natural immunity from prior infection. A recent study out of Israel just found that if you have natural immunity, the level of protection is 6.7 times greater than from vaccinated immunity. Now, I never recommend anyone go out there and get the infection in order to get natural immunity. But when you get natural immunity, when you've recovered, you have antibodies to the entire surface of the virus, all the nooks and crannies, the entire surface, not just the spike protein. So the immunity may be better. And we've got to accept that. When we have mandates and requirements for vaccination, we should change that to requirements for immunity and count natural immunity.
Yes, we need to start looking at the facts, folks. Look at the facts. Look at the real studies. Look at the real information that's out there. Let's stop pandering to politics and start actually looking at real information. The information's there. Real information. Information that says natural immunity is better. Think about this. This spike protein mRNA gene therapy is not as good as natural immunity. So why aren't we trying to make a vaccine that creates more of a natural immunity? That's the thing. And I think the Johnson & Johnson one is one of them that is based off the virus. It's not an mRNA. It doesn't do as well, I guess, in terms of hospitalization reduction. But at the same time, we've got to really start thinking about, hey, what are we doing as a people? Why are we getting mRNA stuff, and why aren't we getting something that's going to create a better natural immunity to COVID? That's what we need to start looking at, folks. All right, folks, we'll wrap this up a little bit early. I want to thank Bill for being on here for majority of the show tonight. His mom is getting discharged from the hospital, which is a great thing. So Bill is going to head over there and pick up his mother, which is great. Folks, don't forget iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, Blog Talk Radio for the podcast. We're on Rumble. Make sure to get the video there and also on YouTube. Thanks so much for listening and watching us tonight. We greatly appreciate it. And we will be back next Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern for the Brower Report Radio Show. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great night.